Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nate's Garage and Bakery. Today we're going to put the Z-axis motors on this frame, and we're going to put together the brackets on which the X-axis is going to slide back and forth on, and which also the Z-axis is going to lift up and down. So without any further ado, let's get it on. The next thing we got to do is mount these motor plates. These are the plates that are going to hold the motors to drive the Z-axis up and down. Now they say be sure you pay attention to the orientation of these, and this is how they're supposed to go, with the L, the little L boot, towards the upright, one on each side. There'll be two of those motors. The two small ones, I believe, are the ones that will drive the thing up and down, you know, in really small little 0.4 millimeter steps or whatever it is. So guess what we get to use to put these on these rails? What do we know? We got some M5x8s and M5 nuts. M5x8s. Run a little low, that means we're getting somewhere. And some M5 nuts. So there we go. I'll go ahead and attach this one here. It says, be careful of alignment. This screw with that. Well, obviously, what else is it going to be? So pay attention to direction, which is the L facing the upright. And then the alignment, they have the word alignment, actually spelled correctly, and then arrows pointing to random things here and here. So, what that mean? Good question. I go ahead and assume that it mean this should be flush up to there. I mean, this bracket's actually just a hair wider than this thing here, so basically align it. I guess it should be more or less straight. I'm going to go ahead and tighten that one down a little bit and then bump that one into place. That's aligned pretty well. There's about an equal amount of lip. Don't give me no lip. So I'll go ahead and tighten that one down. Now, I guess I do have a torque wrench. I could actually go find out exactly how tight I'm getting these by hand, but we'll leave that to the imagination. 4,000 foot-pounds with my pinky. Alright, same difference. Pop that up against here. Pop this up against here. Now, what I'm starting to think about here is that basically the head, the print head here, needs to have full range of everything on this here table. So the reason we set this back from center is because that thing's going to hang out here like this, so it should be dead center of this whole mess. If that doesn't happen to be the case, when I get this put together, it's going to be a lot of screw loosening, apparently, to remedy that, although we will find out whether or not that's going to be an issue. I kind of hope it's not. Okay, so we got tightened. Now what we do is we put our motors on here. That is the next step. That was step 27. You know, I swear I was just on step 19. So, you know, get a screw out is one step in this instruction sometimes, and put this together so far could be one step also. So That was step 27. Let's put this junk on here. We gonna put us on some motors. I'm just taking some note here of the manual telling me which way the wire connection port faces. 34s are small stepper motors, 34 millimeters top to bottom. So if they actually fit up in there without bumping against the table, well, basically that's how you know which one it is. Because the other ones, if you'll notice, the other ones won't fit up under there when this thing's sitting on the ground. So it's got to be the shorter ones. Yeah, baby. What they mean, I believe, by wire connection port. For your attention, please find that the motor terminal faces backwards. Well, there's the motor terminal. And at this point, this is the backwards part of the thing, so it's going to go like that. Nyip, nyip, nyip. Like so. And fastened in there with... what we got here is some M3x5. So here's our M3x5s. 4 here, 4 here. I'll go ahead and get 8 out. Motor terminal facing backwards for maximum rearward capacity. These are not very precision. Let me just point that out right now. Forgive me if my Flintstone fingers are in the way of your viewing pleasures. But if your viewing pleasures include Flintstone fingers, then wow. Do not strip these out. If you strip these out, I have no doubt that the motor will lose that battle. And these cheap-ass little screws will win. And you'll be left to find a new motor rather than a new screw. So, don't strip these out. There's side 1. Let's do side 2. Same difference, port to the back. I don't have big hands or nothing. I haven't said that enough times, have I? I mean, they're proportional to my big ass. Runs in the family. You should see my mom. Sorry, Mom. You might be watching this. And that was not a crack on my mom's size. It was a crack on her hands, if anything. She's got the same exact hands I do. I notice that every time I see her grab the hold of a steering wheel, it looks exactly like my hands. I know where I got my hands from, that side of the family for sure. Alright, so now we got our motors. We are going to put our couplers on our stepper motors now. Now, I mistakenly explained that these are springs. They're not springs. They're not meant to give way up and down or so. What these really do nicely is allow for something that's not exactly lined up together like this. Maybe they're a little off. So when you try to connect this to this directly, you'd have a problem. But using one of these, it allows for a little bit of bend. You see that little bit of bend there. Obviously, it's not going to be able to right angle or anything, but that's what that does, is allows for some differences in how they line up together. So if you were watching my earlier video where I tried to explain this was a spring, then I'm an idiot and I'm sorry. So, same deal with these things that we had on our pulley back here. We've got 2 set screws. Not the smallest wrench that comes with the kit, but the next smallest one does fit very snugly in there. I don't think that's going to slip anywhere, so I will use the stuff that came with the kit. And I'll place it on here. Now, they also say that there should be about 10 millimeters between the flange and the bottom of where this thing mounts. So what I'm going to do is mark off my 10 millimeters with my trusty marker here. $10 roughly. Good enough. I'll do it on the other side too. 10 millimeters roughly. Good enough. Alright. So, what we're gonna do right here. Hey, check that out. I got a jack stand for my 3D printer. We got the flat side here. I will go ahead and... Holy crap, that's... Oh, okay. My bad. We got two different sizes of hole on the old thingamabobber here. We got that size, which is going to go into the upright screw. And we got that size, which is actually going to go into the motor. So, obviously, you can't tighten that down on that small shaft there, and you can't get that around the big shaft. So, make sure you got those the right way, obviously. Right about there, line it up with my 10 millis. Alright, we're not getting any... And if anything else, this thing is going to account for its own tolerance failures here. You can, I don't know if you can see that in the video or not, but that is about the furthest thing from straight, although it could have to do with something about my abilities to, get it on there straight in the first place. We'll do the other one next. Small end. Let's find our flat spot. There it be. 1, 2, 3. Looks like maybe it was screwed in already. No, not really. Just a tight fit. Precision, that's for sure. You know, when this does go on there, it's going to go all the freaking way down. I just know it. This isn't going to help much. Because it's a spring. I mean, it actually does act a little bit as a spring. Alright, so we got a little bit of a problem here in the fitment. I really don't want to jam my finger up on something and cut it wide open. Use a little bit of leverage to pop that off of there. I don't know if we're going to have to drill that hole out, find the right size drill bit and just run it through there just to make sure, oh, there it went, make sure all the burrs are gone, or just cram it till it goes, huh? One of your Allen keys here to pry that back up if you have the same problem as I just did. There's our 10mm mark, it's close enough. I don't even need to tighten that one down, it's already tight. So I will go ahead and tighten it down, of course. Alright, so now we've got our couplers in place. There you go. The next steps we're going to do here, starting with step 31 in the instruction manual of this particular printer, which is the X-axis assembly, which I believe is supposed to be X-axis, but whatever. And we're going to use these printed parts that came with it for that chair. Now, what we're going to do on these here parts, specifically in these locations, is mount this little hardware kit. So it says use, M3 by 16 screws. Those are actually already in this particular bag here. So there's our little, I don't know if those are brass or bronze or whatever, but there are little screw head thingamabobbers there, and the hardware with which to assemble it. So let's see here. I'll make sure I completely get this out of the frame so you can't see anything and you just listen to me blabber. Alright, so here's a part. We're going to start with this one. Little bottle opener there, whatever that thing is. And that's going to go right down in there like so. It's apparently a tight fit. Nice friction fit there. And then we're going to put the screws in from the bottom, apparently. That is the way it says to do it. They're tight enough to where it's not going to just slip on through there, and I don't know if they're threaded or if I'm just seeing the 3D printer marks. And yeah, we'll put these 4 screws all the way through there and put the nuts on top of there. I'll go ahead and fast forward through this because it's going to take a while to actually thread this all the way through here 4 times. Well, I spend the next 3 days threading these stupid screws all the way through here. The instruction manual says how to put this in here. However, it's obviously already in there because they probably had problems with people tightening it too much. Those are bearings in there. That's why the other belt's going to loop through, I think. Tighten it down too much, the bearing doesn't spin, and you eat your belt. Alright, I got the power tools out now. If you're wondering, that is a 2.5 millimeter Allen head, whatever you call those things. Alright, now they're in. Sweet! Yet another Harbor Freight special here. We got the long reach bit set. Standard bit set except for long. I like it. Okay, so, well, they're not coming out of there very easily, if at all, so I'll call that good enough. So there's our one spot. Here's the other one with our other flange with the threaded rod will fit through there. And what'll happen is that motor there is going to spin the threaded rod, which will then screw this up and down. Alright, so we got our bearing piece here. That's what's rattling is the bearings in there. They're supposed to be a little loose, so again, the belt can actually move through there without obstruction. And we have our other piece. So these are going to be the sliders, just like the bottom rods here. We're going to have rods going up and down. These are going to be the screws that are run by the such and so.
Well, that's it for this episode on Nate's Garage and Bakery. Did you get this far? Did you like what you saw? Go ahead on and click that subscribe button for future videos. Hell, click the like button while you're at it. Leave a comment if you got questions. I'll try to answer. Later.